Warning, this video will contain a major spoiler for the LEGO Movie 2, the second part. If you have not yet seen the movie and plan to, I would suggest that you click off now. Now, what the heck, the movie's been out for like a month and a half. The sets have been out since January 1st, or actually since like the end of December. Everyone's already reviewed these sets. You already know what the spoiler is. You've probably already seen a review of this set. If you haven't, heck, the spoiler was in the Happy Meal toys. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then, well, you should probably see the movie then. Alternatively, you have and you just don't know what I'm talking about, in which case, hello everyone, and welcome to Retro Brick Reviews, where today I will be taking a look at the LEGO Movie 2, the second part. Great title, quite a mouthful though. It's at number 70824, introducing Queen Watevra Wannabe. This set comes with 115 pieces, 1 minifigure, 2 mini dolls, 2 buildable figures, and it retails for about $20 in the United States. At first, that price-to-part ratio might seem a little outrageous, and yeah, but is the set worth it? Well, let's find out, and we'll start by taking a look at the 3 non-brick-built figures in the set, starting with Lucy. So here we have our first figure, who is unfortunately probably one of the weaker figures of the LEGO Movie 2 lineup. Here we have Lucy, better known as Wild Style, of course, since that's kind of how we thought of her for the past 5 years, but all of the sets just brand her as Lucy. Even though most characters in the movie still call her Wild Style, it's really just Emmett that calls her Lucy. But let's stop talking about the name, let's talk about the figure. First off, her accessories, handcuffs. Kind of get what they were going for here, but it's not accurate to the movie, so she wasn't handcuffed, so I'm just taking those off. I guess it's good to get the handcuff piece, though, you know. It's not as though I have, like, 75 of those. Anyway, so Lucy herself is basically just a watered-down version of the design of Wild Style we got in the first LEGO movie, and well, I guess for that, this is a pretty alright figure. Not perfect, but it's okay. Or at least it would be, if not for the fact that currently, if you buy I think a Blu-ray copy at Walmart of any of the 3 LEGO movies that have already been released, LEGO Movie, LEGO Batman Movie, or the LEGO Movie that shall not be named, Ninjago, you can just get the Dimensions Wild Style, which is more accurate, and what's especially interesting is that Wild Style never even wears this costume in the movie, or well, she gets back the torso, but with the 3D hood piece that, well, you can just see here on this extra LEGO Movie 1 Wild Style I just had laying around. That's the hood piece has just been omitted here for no reason. So yeah, I don't know why LEGO omitted the hood, but yeah, and again, this leg design never appears in the movie, so this is just a really weird figure. But I guess I should still take a look at it. You know, give it the benefit of the doubt, even if it's not accurate, and if it's just a watered-down version of an earlier figure. So, the hairpiece, it's the same one we've been getting on Wild Style ever since the beginning. With the printing, it's alright. Nice mold. Face print is similar, but not the same as the original LEGO Movie 1 Wild Style. I prefer the faces that have a bit more emotion to them, like the Dimensions Wild Style face, and also the one that comes in a bunch of sets from this wave, like the Sweet Mayhem Starship and the Ultra Caddy set. And, well, this face definitely looks quite similar to the 2014 original head, but there are differences, as there are with the alternate face, although there I think the differences are definitely a bit more notable with this one's more straight, slanted mouth. And then on the back of the torso, I guess we're starting with the back torso. For the torso, you can see that the hood is just printed, which again is not at all accurate, and I don't get why LEGO didn't just bring back the rubber hood piece. I mean, maybe they're just not producing it anymore. I mean, I guess all those Dimensions figures could just be leftover stock, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, other than that, the torso looks pretty good. On the front, it's basically just Dimensions Wild Style. At least that's what I thought at first. And, well, why do I keep saying Dimensions? Every Wild Style. Except, it is slightly different, because on the original, the prints for the blues and the pinks was a bit dull, because there was no undercoating. It was just those printed directly on black. But now, they are printed with a silver coating underneath to give them a bit of extra sheen. I know this because well, not a bit of sheen, but, to make them appear brighter. They're not really shiny. I know this because it's not really picking up on camera, but my Wild Style is actually slightly misprinted to where the shiny just goes a bit outside of the printing. You can probably see it a bit better on the arm. It's not showing. There it is. You can sort of see it, the silvery bits. Yeah, the arm printing is the same as well, except for that. And same with the legs. They're the same design, just with the silvery underneath. So, yeah, that's Lucy. Definitely an interesting figure to include in the set. I mean, if you don't have a LEGO Movie 1 Wild Style, this is certainly an alright substitution. If you don't want to get a Blu-ray of a movie that you may already own. Yeah, I mean, this is the cheapest way. In fact, this is the only main set to include this version of Lucy in the LEGO Movie 2 line. The only other sets are the Builder Box and the Movie Maker set. So this is by far the cheapest way to get this version of Lucy. I think ever, because, yeah, the cheapest version to get a Wild Style in the LEGO Movie 1 was with the Cloud Cuckoo Land, which was $20. So not a huge price difference, but still, this is good. It's an alright figure, just not a great one. I've spent way too much talking about what I consider to be the uninteresting thing in the set, so now let's move on to the first really awesome figure of the set, which is one of our two mini dolls. So here we have Queen Watevra's servant, Susan, who I think is a really cute mini doll. Starting off with her accessory, it's just this little serving tray. It's a 2x2 round plate with a couple goblets on it. It's a thing. It kind of works. I mean, for its purpose and her purpose, it's good. Susan herself, though, was an absolutely fantastic mini doll that I adore. Probably one of my favorite mini dolls. Heck, aside from the figure we'll be looking at next, Susan probably is my favorite mini doll. She's, yeah, kind of traditional in a way. She does look Disney princess to quite an extent, but I don't know, she just looks better than those. Starting with the hairpiece, if I'm correct, this is Ariel's hairpiece from the Little Mermaid sets for mini dolls, but it's in blonde. And I think, well, it looks really cute. You have a couple mini peg holes, one on that side and one up on top. Okay. The face print is really cute with the eyes, which almost, like, they're not anime eyes, but they kind of have that shine in them, like the extra shine dots. I don't know, Susan's really cute. I also like the lips, which have no outlines, like we would see on, like, Friends mini dolls. And I think the no outlines look works here. It definitely does not work on minifigures, which is why I'm glad that for many years now, LEGO has been always printing outlines to lips and mouths on minifigs, but, for these more Barbie doll-esque figures, I think the lips that don't have outlines work really well. And, of course, she has the little button nose. Her cape is a special cut that is rounded, and you can also see that on the inside, let me see if I can get it to catch the light a little, it is shiny, which is pretty cool. Or, well, it could also be the outside. It's sort of like Vitruvius's cape from the original movie, where one side is shiny and one is dull, but here, instead of being all glittery, it just has a nice extra sheen to it. However, something that I'm not a big fan of is that the only reason it's held down is because of her hair. If you take that off, it does basically, well, it's not going to fall flat now because the hair has been holding it down for a while, but I mean, it's not going to go all the way down. It's going to pop up, so that's a bit annoying. The torso and legs are pretty standard fare. She has a little golden necklace as well as a golden corset over her dress, which has the two colors of pink that also goes down onto the bottom where you have some hearts and some nice, ornamental designs. The hands are cute. If I'm correct, the arms and torso are molded entirely in the flesh tone, and then just the hands are and then the sleeves and the dress are all printed. I'm pretty sure that's how they do it. In fact, if I were to just Can't do it with the arms, since I don't think you can take those off. But yeah, the torso is just flesh tone underneath. No back printing. Mini dolls don't have back printing. And if you've never seen a mini doll and you want to know about articulation, they can't have alternate faces because of the noses, but the heads turn, the arms can move up and down. Nothing can be done with the hands, and you can move it just at the hip. Obviously, with this figure, you can't move the legs, but you can't with any mini doll, including ones with 2 separate legs. So unlike minifigures, dresses do not hamper the articulation of these gals. Probably because, so many of them have dresses that it would be weird if the small portion that had 2 legs that didn't have a dress or a skirt over them could move. So that makes sense. Also with the more realistic, thinner proportions. Yeah. Overall, Susan's a really cute mini doll. I think she was really cute in the movie, minor though her role was. Yeah. Now let's move on to what is easily the best figure of the set. Also, the main reason why this set is kind of overpriced. Also, a major spoiler for the LEGO Movie 2. That's right, time to take a look at General Mayhem. So here we have General Mayhem, the naval commander of the Sistar system, and she is a phenomenal mini doll. Starting off with her accessory, it's not too interesting, it's just a little ray gun piece, but I kind of like the white stamp and the stud on the front. That's a nice design. I mean, it's simple, but it's a lot better than it had to be, even though it is just a couple pieces added on to the end. Anyway, this figure right here, you're looking at 3 new molds, starting with that helmet, which is a triple molded piece, white for the main helmet, the sort of magenta color for the highlights there and the fin on top, and black for the visor. No printing, all molded, and it's just fantastically done. You can even see that on this side you have a little mic. Just such a good helmet, so clean looking. Then you have this armor piece, which is really well done, and it is kind of unfortunate that due to the fact that mini dolls just have a peg for a neck, like, the bar size, you cannot put this on a minifigure because it looks so good, and you have such good printing on there. With some magenta on the front, as well as this really nice sort of shimmery bluish on the shoulders. On the back you have a couple clips where you can attach on these wing pieces, and you get 2 of them. These bottom wings are actually part of the armor, so that's double molded with white and transparent glittery. These wings are also double molded with white and transparent glittery blue, and yeah, it's just really well done. And of course, because these are attached separately, much like the existing LEGO Buzz Lightyear minifigure, you can move the wings around, so you could, put them down to have her be in just, a non-flight mode. You could put them up to put her in flight mode. You could put them up that far. Put them just straight out. A lot of stuff you can do here. I'm going to keep it sort of like this because I think, put them up a bit more. There, that's a pretty good look. Okay. Then the arms have a couple of nice teal stripes on them that go all the way around. The legs have some pink as well as some teal thin stripes. The thin stripes cancel out, but the pink goes all the way around. You can see that because LEGO, I guess, didn't feel like making a 4th new mold for pants, this does have a couple pockets on the back because, well, that just all mini dolls that have pants have pockets on the back, I guess, because, trousers, and I'm perfectly fine with that. They're pretty hard to see, and, I mean, even then, it's not like they actively take away from the design. I mean, a spacesuit can have pockets. It's just a bit funny to me. I don't know why. Anyway, she, of course, has the same articulation as Susan, with just the arms, although they are a bit limited by the armor, especially backward. They really can't go back at all because of the wings. Then just the legs. And time for the major spoiler, because I am about to take off Sweet Mayhem's helmet to reveal what's underneath. And unlike in the analysis videos, where I briefly just sort of showed you it, since this is a review, I am going to be talking about it in detail. So this is your last chance to click off the video, because I will be taking her helmet off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, this is her face, and she also comes with this hairpiece, so that is 4 new molds for Sweet Mayhem. And this hairpiece is this nice light blue color, and look at that sort of design. I don't know how to describe it, except it's like the look of like a soap bubble, like you know, like a bubble you would blow. It looks like that, and I have no idea how they got that texture on there. I don't even know what you would call it. It's like iridescent and rainbowy and pretty anyway. So you have that, and that's on top, but the entire hairpiece just has this nice glossy design, and it's so nice. Super accurate. Well, not super accurate. The mold obviously is accurate. It's a bit inaccurate because you see these little squarish hairbands. Those should be pink, but I mean, considering how nice this figure is, I don't really care, although I do think it's a bit weird how LEGO is continuously making the movie stuff have stuff that they can't do. Like the star, how in the sets it has a 2x2 tile for the face, but in the movie the face is just on the piece. I kind of get that, because obviously, you know, sets were made before the movie, and that was a final change. But it's stuff like this, and how in the first movie, say, Wild Style, Elle had a bit of pink on the front of her hood that couldn't be done on the figure. That stuff weirds me out a bit. So it's not really a problem with the figure, and more honestly, a problem with the movie. I do not like that they did that for the movie. But this figure looks great, though. The face print is one of 3 Sweet Mayhem faces we know of so far, and this is the most common, as it also comes in the Movie Maker set, and it's going to come in the triple-decker couch set. So, yeah, and this is probably my least favorite face for her. I don't know, she has a mischievous look, which we never really got from her in the movie. Maybe it was originally intended, since I'm pretty sure that some of her material might have been cut from the movie. I don't know, we'll just have to wait until release to see if that's the case, but I imagine there are some deleted scenes with her. I don't know, the movie works fine as it is, but I feel as though there was some stuff with her that was cut. That's just my feeling, though. It's probably wrong. Anyway, but yeah, it's still a good face. I just prefer the expressions in the other 2. One more thing she gets is a clear cylinder, and that is just that when you have her hair, she can hold her helmet, which is a cool thing, and I love it. And I love when LEGO does stuff like this. And like, I mean, LEGO didn't have to include the alternate hairpiece in the set. Like, they could have easily not included it here because she doesn't take her helmet off in this scene. They could have made it some hairpiece that's exclusive to her starship and, you know, made that super valuable because of that, but they didn't. And that's just so good to me, how even in this small $20 set, LEGO included such a great figure. Like, yeah, I've given a couple nitpicks, but overall, Sweet Mayhem is fantastic. I adore all the new molds for her, although they do drastically raise the price of all the sets she's in the first wave, which is kind of painful, and probably why the Movie Maker set only included her hairpiece with none of the armor. But yeah, I'm going to stop blathering about the figures, because there are literally 3, and this has gone on for nearly 20 minutes. I mean, I know I've blathered on for minifigures longer before, but, like, then there's a lot more detail. Like, these figures are great, but they're not super complex. And I just realized one thing I nearly forgot to do. I was about to close this off, but I realized that I never showed you what's under Sweet Mayhem's armor as I drop her helmet. Thank you, gravity. And there you can see that there is just a bit more printing on there, with some nice Sistarian characters, as well as a bit of a neckline, I suppose. Yeah, and then just putting this back on, and putting the... Well, I can't put the helm back on, because it's not attached to the head. Putting the head back on, and then I'll put the helmet back on, so that is the more iconic look for her, as it was in all the ads. Yeah. Overall, an amazing figure, easily the best of the 3 in the set. As much as I love Susan, and Susan is exclusive, so Susan is a really great figure, but Sweet Mayhem is just so good. Such a wonderful figure. Yeah, I'm going to stop talking about this. So enough with the figures, let's move on to the brick-built figures. Starting off with, I lied, because Sweet Mayhem cannot be the best thing in the set, because this next guy exists. That's right, boys and girls, it's... Banarnar! Yeah, that's his name, Banarnar. I mean, in the movie, I'm pretty sure Queen Watevra just calls him Banana, but I mean, he's Banarnar, right? Kind of a weird name. I mean, I kind of get it, kind of don't. Anyway, doesn't matter, because this guy's fantastic. I loved him in the movie. I mean, it was a really small comic relief role, but I don't know. I thought he was really funny. I can relate to him on a deep level. Also, he's voiced by Ben Schwartz, who voices, like, a ton of Blue cartoon characters. Like, he voices Blue Duck in DuckTales, he voices Blue Turtle in Ninja Turtles. In the Lego Movie Batman v Superman Turkish Airlines ad that added a lot of integrity to the universe and added a lot of integrity to the production. And, you know, Turkish Airlines is just such a great thing. Most of you have no idea what I'm talking about here. He voiced Benny, and also he's going to be Socko the Hedge, so that's going to be great. Anyway, I don't know, I thought he did a really good job with the voice for Banarnar. Banarnar's just a funny boy. He is a brick-built banana, and he is very simple. He has these nice legs at the bottom. His only articulation is that you can turn the feet, but that's just fine with me. You have his tail, and up top you have the top of the stem. The main thing here is the curve, which is done nicely, as well as the face, which uses the existing Mixel eyes, which are pretty accurate to the movie. Maybe they should have done a new print to make the white parts a bit bigger, maybe, because this isn't fully accurate, but it gets it across well enough. The mouth also works, although I would prefer something a bit more expressive, maybe. Like maybe a mouth for when he's, you know, falling down or something, like a worried face, since I think that would work better. I mean, this is just kind of a dumb face, which worked before I saw the movie, and this made me think of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, if any of you remember that. But, I don't know, after seeing the movie, it's not really accurate. I mean, it definitely doesn't detract from the figure that much. And again, it's another thing like the minor inaccuracy on Sweet Mayhem and her expression. It's perfectly fine. Like, it's not an actual, like, problem. Like, it's a very subjective thing. Like, most people aren't going to care at all. This is just me nitpicking. But I mean, hey, it's my review, so I can do whatever I want. Okay, I just made a rude gesture, despite the fact that, you know, I'm recording a video and you can't see me, so you don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna stop talking now and just move on to the last thing in the set, which is, you know, what the set's named after. So here we have Queen Watevra Wannabe, the totally least evil queen in history. So yeah, this is her in her horse form, and I really like this figure. I mean, in general, if you want to get a Queen Watevra, you have to get this set, or the $40 builder box, and while I do plan on getting that at some point, I think this is a really nice alternative, even if it is, you know, pretty specific. And, starting off, we're gonna remove her because forget the character. Look at this platform. It's like blue with white and gold, and it has balls, and it can spin? What is this sorcery? Yeah, but okay, so, yeah, it's kind of a pointless thing. I mean, it's kind of cool. Anyway, bringing back in the queen herself, she is much like Banarnar, a 2D, two brick thick build. And, yeah, a lot of different colors used for her, which is accurate, but unlike a lot of the builds we see in the builder box, this definitely, like, the colors chosen here are smart, and everything kind of fits together. Like, the head has its own scheme, like, the head and the tail have their own scheme, and then, like, the body has its own scheme, the legs the same. This is well done. I like the transparent bits on the body. I like the slopes used for the tail. I like how they did the legs. Like, the shaping is very simple, but much like Banarnar, it just works. And, you can see her face, which is very good. A couple of printed pieces with the big toothy smile, and then those open eyes with the eyebrows. You have the ears, which are just done as cheese slopes. Only thing on the model that isn't entirely 2D and just too thick, because those are, of course, two separate ears. So if you look at her from the front, you can kind of see that. You can see it a bit better if I take off her crown. And the crown is a new mold that only comes with her. I mean, it's not super rare, since we get 5 in the builder box, and they're also doing a couple of the sets that come with a super mini queen that come with the crown anyway, despite it being super huge on her in those scenarios. And around the back you get another printed eye. The mouth isn't printed on both sides of the of the sloped brick, but that's okay. I mean, you're going to be viewing her from this side anyway. And she is a 2D thing, so you're not going to want to look at her from both sides, really. So yeah, cool stuff, but we're not done quite yet, because she does come with some additional pieces to give her different expressions. Because we already have 3 printed pieces, we can double that as we get another set of 2 prints for the eyes, which are closed eyes, and a separate mouth. So, say for example, we want to give her a more casual look, replace the mouth, and now she has just sort of a, more casual look, as I already said, with the open eyes. Or we could just replace the eyes quickly, and put the head back, and we have this. I don't know, this kind of looks sleepy to me. I feel as though the closed eyes definitely work a lot better with the original mouth. It has the toothy design to it. Yeah, that looks good, and we sort of see that on the box. Like, I'm not going to bring the box in here, but, like, this is the expression they use, and I think it works pretty well for that. Now, I will say that my favorite is the one that I was using at the beginning. This one. But yeah. So that's cool. Cool stuff. Cool beans. But that's not all with Queen Watevra, because, as her name would imply, and as you would know if you've seen the movie, she can be whatever she wants to be. So she is a shapeshifter, and while the set certainly doesn't give you the 15 options and like 300 leftover bricks when you're done that the builder box does, the set does include a spare alternate design for Queen Watevra. So let's take a quick look at that, shall we? So here we have the set's alternate design for Queen Watevra, which is a pile of bricks. Now in the movie, this is basically just an intermediary form for when she's shape-shifting, like in the process, and, well, in general, I'm not a fan of this design. I'm perfectly fine with it being used here, because obviously this set is a very specific design for the Queen, so it's nice to be able to get a 2-in-1 build at all. I'm not a big fan of how LEGO included this as one of the 15 builds in the builder box, though, and I'm definitely not a fan of how in the 2 sets that include a little mini Queen Watevra, how they use this design instead of something actually interesting. But again, with this set I don't really mind, since I'm just glad to get 2 versions, and honestly I think this version looks better than the larger design that comes in the builder box. But that's just me. I mean, it's very simple, and hey, is that another printed brick? Yeah, you get this 1x4 brick for a front-facing mouth as well, which brings the total to 7 printed bricks for this set, just for the Queen, plus 1 for Banarnar. So that is 8 new printed bricks. So maybe you're starting to see why I think the price for the set is kind of fair. Anyway, up top you have the crown on a jumper. I mean, you have the transparent on the sides, you have a bit of yellow, bit of orange at the bottom, purple around the edges, pink. Like, again, the color scheme here really does work, which is good. Around the back, you can see that for some reason they do have you have the eye bricks, the closed eye bricks facing towards the back. I don't know why. I mean, I guess maybe if you wanted to, you could sort of switch it around. I mean, this obviously, you would have to do a bit more finagling with it. Like, you know what, here, I'll perform the switcheroo right now just to kind of get an idea of what it would kind of be like, because I haven't actually looked at her with the closed eyes on the front yet, so maybe it works, although I kind of doubt it. Yeah, I don't like that, so I'm going to fix it right now. This is a very purposeful thing I'm doing. But yeah, you have these slopes on the back which don't look good, but again, it's like the other build. As long as you look at it from just the front, it's fine. Also, just a thing, but this build does leave out these 2 red 2x2 anti-slopes, and while it is a bit annoying that it doesn't use every piece, I kind of get it, because, like, they already have a bunch of slopes at the back. It would just be dumb to try and add in 2 more. So, I don't really mind that. But yes, that is the last build of the set. But before we finish up with the review, we can go on to the box, the instruction manual, the extra pieces, and then I'll give my final verdict for introducing Queen Watevra Wannabe. So here we have the box of this set, which is an interesting size for a $20 box. I mean, it's a square box. Well, not entirely square, but I mean, you know, it's pretty square, pretty tall for a $20 box. Like this set could be the same price and have a box that's like still this long, but like this tall. But the reason they made it so tall was obviously because we have these 2 tall figures. But what's interesting is that this is still not even close to actual size. Like, you see Banarnar on the box. This is IRL Banarnar. So, like, you're definitely getting more than what you pay for. The stuff is bigger. Well, at least Banarnar is. The Queen is the Queen's about actual size. So that's good. Anyway, up top you have the LEGO Movie 2 logo. Thankfully, unlike the LEGO Batman and Ninjago movies, they do have the full logo. I mean, I guess if they omitted the Lego from the title and just had it be the movie 2, that would be a bit awkward. Anyway, and then in the top right, you have Emmett and Lucy. It's interesting how in the smallest sets we don't have anyone. Then in sort of these medium sets, we have Emmett and Lucy, and then in the biggest sets, we have Emmett, Lucy, Rex, and Sweet Mayhem. It's interesting how they do that. Anyway, then we have a choking hazard in the bottom left. The left side just has all your info. Bottom right just has, like, some of this. I don't know why, but that's there. Also up top. So I guess it's sort of like our slanted design. It works fine, I guess. And then our main image just shows Lucy being handcuffed, and I guess escorted by Sweet Mayhem to the Queen and Susan, and Banarnar's just being an absolute derpy boy. Yeah, I don't know why I completely didn't mention it, but I guess with Banarnar, his feature is that you can, like, change the eyes to change the expression. So, like, you could have him look up, you could have him look wonky, you could have him look down, which is what I do, you could have him look cross-eyed, you could have him look like this, you could have him look into one side. Yeah, stuff. Anyway, this side is just boring legal stuff no one cares about. This is just Lego life and stuff no one cares about. This is just legal stuff. Up here you have an actual size for Lucy. Then on the back, you have some more images. You just have another image with Banarnar up front, the Queen in the background with her alternate facial pieces. You have this huge spoiler that spoiled to a ton of people months before the movie came out what Sweet Mayhem looked like. Good job there, Lego. Then here you have this showing the 2 alternate builds you have for the Queen as well as her spare eyepieces. And then you just have this that shows that, you know, the podium can turn. Not all play features can be winners, I guess. So the set gets it, which has something interesting on it that so far I know is in LEGO Movie 2 sets. I don't know if it's in any other sets, and I really hope it's not because I hate it. You can see on the left you have bags 1 and 2 on the side. And, like, it doesn't look so bad here. But, like, take Welcome to Apocalypseburg, a set that I really remember having that. Like, I saw a review and I really noticed that. Because it has 17 bags and 1 manual. So like, half of the manual is just taken up by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And it's ridiculous. And I don't know why LEGO does this. Like, I kind of get it. But first off, for sets that have 1 manual, there's no point. Where else would the other bags be? Inside the box? Yeah, I don't think so. Anyway, and even with sets that have multiple bags, you don't need to put them individually. You could just have, like, a single image that says bags 1 to 2. So that's dumb. Anyway, the build for the main stuff goes up to page 33. And then, in addition, the alternate build goes up to page 42. Then at the back, we have a LEGO Life ad. An ad for some of the sets, including the Pop-Up Party Bus, Sweet Mayhem's Sistar Starship, Emmett's Dream House, and Rex's Rex Dream Off-Roader. An ad for the awful-looking LEGO Movie 2 video game that I'm not even going to rent because it looks atrocious and the voice acting gives me hives. Parts list. And Win Guy. Okay, now let's look at the extra bits and wrap up this review. So this set doesn't have a lot of extra pieces, but we do get some nice ones, including the stamp piece in white, which isn't too common. I mean, it comes in every set with Sweet Mayhem and a couple others, but it's not a super common piece. I mean, it only came out a couple years ago, so it's not extremely common in any color, but white is a relatively new one. The open stud is a pretty common piece, but I don't know, I still think it's cool. You get a pair of handcuffs, and I mean, that's really it. Then you just get a couple studs and a couple cheese slopes. But in addition, since the queen does have alternate parts, you also, of course, have leftover bricks from the eye set you didn't use, as well as both mouths you didn't use. That's an additional 4 leftover bricks, which are pretty cool stuff. But yeah, so I guess that's everything I have to talk about for extra pieces. Now let's move on to the final verdict. So, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, $20 for 115 pieces is a very hard pill to swallow. Especially when you realize that if we compare this to the LEGO Juniors set for the film, you know, LEGO Juniors, or I guess 4+ now, a line that is infamous for being super overpriced, that set is 117 pieces for $20, and I can't think of another time when the Juniors set has a better price-to-part ratio than the normal set. And that is kind of really bad, but I mean, there is a reason. It's because the set has a lot of new prints and several new molds. Like, okay, so Sweet Mayhem has 4 new molds, all of which, well, 3 of them are double mold. Well, one of them is triple molded, 2 are double molded, and 1 has that really great glossy finish that I imagine is probably at least a little expensive to do. Then we get 8 new printed bricks. That new crown mold, so that's another new mold, even if, like Sweet Mayhem, it's not exclusive, it is still a new mold. So that brings the total of new molds for the set up to 5. Plus, I mean, they had to recolor that hairpiece for Susan, make a new shiny cape for her. I mean, when you think about all this stuff, it is you can kind of see where it's coming from. Now, I still think that 20 is a bit too high. Like, I will agree that pricing this set at, like the accurate price-to-part ratio would probably put this at, like, $13 or $15. This set is worth more than $15. But I don't know if it's worth 20. I would say that the sweet spot here is, like, $18. But LEGO doesn't do sets at $18 anymore. So, I mean, I guess if I had to live with this, I'd say $20 is alright. I can accept 20. I mean, it's literally $2 more than what I'd find to be a perfect price, so, I mean, it's not that bad. It's pretty good. Great set. Obviously, if you've seen the movie, this is a great set to get. It is by far the cheapest set to include well, not by far soon, because in May we'll get the couch, which is only $10 more than this, but still, it's the cheapest way at the moment to get a full Sweet Mayhem. It's the cheapest way to get any... Well, no, there's a polybag that comes with the Lucy, so scratch that. I guess it's the cheapest way to get Lego Movie 1 Lucy, only way to get Susan, only way to get Banana Boy, cheapest way to get the Queen, also one of only 2, also only normal set that's not a weird creator set to include a normal scale version of the Queen that isn't terrible. So yeah, I mean, if you've seen the movie, I mean, it's up to you, but I would get the set as a good thing to get if you see the movie. Like, if you see the movie, I would definitely get this set, and a couple others, you know, because, again, this is a great way to get multiple characters from the movie. You get a Lucy, you get a Sweet Mayhem, you get the Queen and a couple members of her court, which is great, because if you get this and you get the Unikitty $10 set, then you basically have, like, all of the main members of her court. Like, there are a couple others, but, like, you get the main ones, which is great. And a lot of main characters in general. So yeah, I'm repeating myself over and over again, so I'm just going to cut myself off here. Great set. Maybe a bit overpriced, but like, price-to-part ratio definitely isn't something to go by in this set's case, so you just have to look at what you get. And I mean, for what you get, this is a pretty great set. So thank you all so much for watching this video. And, yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.